Check it out, make sure it's good.
Classic King shit.
Hey, Shalom. I was just checking the video feed right now, make sure we good. Just checking the video feed right now. All right. Hey, Shalom, brothers. All praises due to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakakwadash. I want to give double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well over the flock. Shalom, salutations to all you brothers out here serving the Lord in truth and sincerity. Rapal Maf, this brother right here, a brother here.
Adawan Kasad.
All right, so we're coming together this Friday night to deal with the prophecy and that's just live current events. In recent news, this brother's going to hit it off. What's going on in New York City? Right out.
Yeah, it says, this is from eastnewyork.com.
What's the date?
Yeah, the date is April 10th, 2020. It says 5 new coronavirus testing locations in Flatbush, Brownsville, Aqueduct, Jamaica, South Bronx. Yep, it says amid the ongoing COVID-19 pandemic, 5 new testing facilities are opening, primarily in neighborhoods where the need is greatest. All right, and it goes into the different locations. I'll skip through that. It says the state has opened 9 testing facilities to date. The sites will prioritize tests for individuals that are among the highest risk population. Residents who would like to be tested at these facilities must make an appointment by calling 888-3430.
It's basically they're setting up different spots in the city where you get tested. But if you notice, as his brother happened to see himself walking down the street, they have military, police uniform, military setting up these places, doing the swabbing, doing the testing and whatnot. So the military is damn near everyday thing now in the city. Going to work about 2 weeks ago, Jake told me that he also saw the military up in Central Park, which was one of the largest parks in the city. And so the military's going to be everywhere. They're going to be the ones making sure that when you get tested, you go see them. They are the ones that if this thing ever becomes mandated that you have to take a vaccination, they're going to be going door to door doing that process. They're going to be setting up these checkpoints to make sure you got your coronavirus mandates. And so Isaiah 10:10, grab that. What's coming up is laws, man. Esau is going to start mandating things now. Last year, I believe they made it mandatory for you to have, for all children in New York City had to be vaccinated. There used to be a law of exemption, religious exemption, because you believed in this faith that you didn't want your children to get poked by needles, that you wouldn't have to have your children have any vaccinations. They can go ahead, go through kindergarten to 12th grade with no vaccinations. That's changed. New York, I believe it was last year, if not the year before, and made it mandatory for you to have vaccinations for your children in order for them to go to public school. So with that coming out last year, and now this hitting this year, you can see where they were going with that. Mandating vaccinations and coronavirus go hand in hand. What else comes by the way of needles? The RFID chip, the microchip. All right. So it's called gradualism. Small steps to get to the larger picture. Small steps to get to the end game, which is to have everybody microchipped with this radio frequency identification chip. Small steps to get 5G capable systems everywhere. The thing I learned about 5G today is that 5G doesn't give off a broad signal. It's a very short distance signal. So if you have a 5G tower outside your crib, you'll need a few of those joints just to penetrate the walls to get good service of that 5G. Now if you go up the block, that 5G signal ain't gonna reach you. Your phone's gonna go back to 4G. So they got to put these things literally everywhere in order for them to work.
As close as possible.
close as possible. Now, what they also got coming up is how this is going to work with hand in hand with what Esau got is they got AI, they got self-driving cars. They got this. They're about to roll out this whole program of how 5G is going to help the new technology, help with the new way of life, help with smart cities and whatnot, help you help keep you in the loop and keep your phone fast and your service fast and this, that, and the third. RFID technology is going to work hand in hand with the 5G in the sense that they'll be able to track you. Right now, what does your phone do for you? All right, they put out information. The government has just released information that they know where you were, and if you were holding down to the stay at home recommendations, or if you were just out and about during this quarantine. And they've been producing day to day how people are starting to go more outside because of their phone tower, cell phones being picked up on phone towers. They can map out exactly where you've been. If you ever watched First 48, you can see they're using cell towers to show that Jake was in this time at this day on this date, and so he's probably guilty. He's the murderer. So they've been tracking you since then. Go ahead, Joe. Isaiah.
Come. This is Isaiah chapter 10, verse 1. Woe unto them that decree unrighteous decrees.
Mandates, laws, right, provisions, executive orders. These mandates starting from the top down. The elites put these puppet leaders into office so that they can do their bidding. Their bidding is to have a new world order. It was Novus Ordo Seclorum that's on the back of your dollar bills. All right, that means new world order. You can't get around that. You cannot get around it. And so, what the elites have done, also on the back of the dollar bill, they put this pyramid with the 13 steps, which on the bottom of the pyramid, it tells you Roman numerals for 1776. But the day that they're referring to is when I believe it's Bulgarian Illuminati was formed, May 1st, 1776, not July 4th, 1776. And so the New World Order being crowned as success, which your daddy Bush spoke about and during his term, that it will occur, it will happen. We in these phases, man. Agenda 2020, look that up. Depopulation agendas, Georgia Guidestones, interviews with Aaron Russo concerning the Rockefeller. All right, look up some of the quotes by Illuminati quotes by John D. Rockefeller. And so you'll see that they've been meaning to have this thing done for the people on the earth to control and have absolute power over the people on the earth. Isaiah 10 and 10 again.
Come. It says, Isaiah chapter 10, verse 1.
Yeah.
Woe unto them that decree unrighteous decrees.
Destruction is coming for those that decree unrighteous decrees. A decree is like an order. You order somebody to do something. What's unrighteous about the RFID chip? It tracks your every movement. All right. You're not supposed to make any cuttings in your flesh. All right. For the purpose of tracking you or buying things. All right. Let alone tapping into your brain wiring with Neuralink. All right. You're not supposed to be serving idols. And the book of Revelation specifically tells you you're not supposed to be doing that. You go to Revelation 13 and 16.
It's Revelation 13 and 16. It says, and he...
Let's lock it. 14. 14, you know what I want.
It says, Revelation 13, verse 14. It says, and deceive... When we go to the point where it says, the two horns, like a lamp.
14 and 9. Sorry, 9.
Okay. Oh, the judgment?
Yeah.
Oh, that's 14. It's Revelation chapter 14, verse 9. It says, and the third angel followed them, saying with a loud voice, if any man worship the beast and his image, and receive his mark in his forehead or in his hand, the same shall drink of the wine of the wrath of Yahweh, which is poured out without mixture.
You're going to drink of the wrath of destruction. The wrath of the Most High is those thermonuclear missiles detonating, all these your enemies, your adversaries coming in to slaughter you. During that World War III, the time of Jacob's trouble, being put to death in a terrible way, the wrath of the cup of the Lord, the judgment, if you take that mark, man. And so Esau mandating that you have to get vaccinations is just a small gradual step until he mandates that beast, man. You want to say something? You want to say something? All right. So go back to Isaiah 10. So as you can see, these different checkpoints opening up, and you always starting to see military. That's what's happening in New York, and this is still supposedly the hub. I think today they said there's a few articles that came out on RT, still climbing. COVID-19 death toll reaches 100,000 worldwide. They still milking this thing. They still milking this thing. You might know one person who knows somebody who knows somebody who knows somebody that has so-called coronavirus, and they probably doing good right now. But supposedly there's deaths everywhere you go. There's different, like the brother said, what was it? Different military test places and checkpoints, and they're not letting you on the bus. Right, there goes madness that will start riots. Philadelphia police drag a man off public transit for not wearing a mask. In New York City and in New Jersey, probably other places too, but only I can confirm only these two, that you can't certain supermarkets not allowing you to go inside and buy food unless you have a mask and gloves on. And the police is right outside waiting for you. So they're getting, and this is happening state, not just statewide, this is happening interstate. This is happening on a federal level. So you know it's coming from the top down. This is New World Order 101.
You can't even do certain simple tasks as washing your laundry. You know, and I was watching the news on YouTube the other day, and this video came out. It's from CW11. I'm trying to pull it up.
Speak on it.
Yes, pretty much the video was going into how, in order, they trying to get Americans back to work, but in order for you to get back to work, they trying to mandate a certain test, for the coronavirus.
Yeah. So go back to
a quick document, brother. It says right here. It says it says the U.S. is developing an antivirus that include a chip to track your movement. So,
yeah.
It's an article.
I mean, there it goes. So it's moving into getting you with a chip. No wonder why Bill Gates, who is a microchip CEO and co-founder, all right, who recently stepped down, a man that's works with chips all his life is getting into vaccinations now. It's obvious. As if, come on, man. It's he's the quarterback leading the charge put the chip inside more people. The elites are using him. He's a nobody to the elites on their status, but he's able to forewarn the people, and now all of a sudden he's the ultimate expert on vaccinations. He's the microchip guy. We all know that. There's more.
It says according to a theory circulating on the internet, the U.S. government, the United States government, will soon have an antivirus for the novel coronavirus that involves inserting a chip into your body and tracking your movements.
Right. See, and that's completely the agenda of the elites, of the Illuminati, since day one. Microchip. Bring out Revelation 13 now.
Back in Revelation 13, verse 16, it says, "And he calls of all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond,
all people of the earth." Go ahead.
To receive a mark in their right hand.
That mark is basically your service and your diligence. I mean, your service and your your allegiance to the New World Order. Once you take that chip, you are a product of the New World Order. This mark, this form of marking, goes back to cattle. It also goes back to slavery, because during the time of Israel having Israelites servants, if that server wanted to be with you forever, he would take a bar all through his ear and to the doorpost, basically giving him an earring symbolizing he would be forever your servant in your house.
Well, Pastor Don said that after camp last week, man, he said he said everybody that take the mark of the beast, man, you are gonna be aware, man, that he took the mark of the beast.
Yeah.
Ain't something he's gonna put on you when you're sleeping, man. You're gonna know he take it.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, and it's not going to be like oh well, I thought it was a vaccination. Nah, it's going to be very mandatory, just like it is. It's going to be mandatory soon for you to take a vaccination. It's going to be very mandatory for you to take this new form of currency, this new form of. That's how they're selling it. It's going to be currency. Read that. Because the dollar got the crash too. Go ahead.
It says from the top part.
Read it. Go ahead.
It says, and he calls them all, small and great, and rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads, and that no man might buy or sell, save he that had the mark, or the name of the beast, or the image of his name.
Now this is from Forbes.com. It said no man can buy or sell, save that he had the mark, which means you can't, unless you have the mark of the beast, you can't make transactions. If you look at Amazon Go, that's a contactless store where they can track what you bought, how much you purchased, with you walking right out without dealing with any type of cashier or self-checkout system. You walk out the store with all of these items. If you look at where technology is going, there's face recognition cameras. There's everything is IT. There's fingerprints on the back of your phones. This is kind of old technology, but it's still new. It's all part of the same genetic makeup. There's RFID tags on your key fobs now. That's in the projects. They got the projects with key fobs. You can't even get constant heat in the projects, but you got a brand new fancy key fob system to show you how the RFID contactless works. You got contactless payment cards. A few years ago, I remember it was about 2015, when they first took the strip away from stop using the strip on your credit cards and put the chip in there. And everybody started saying, you got the chip, you got the chip. So we coming into a time where that latest form of technology is all going apex with you having a microchip underneath your skin. And why are they going to sell that to you? Because one, they're going to say that, well, you can't lose it no more. Don't you hate losing your wallet? Don't you hate losing your keys?
you go to the hospital, you can get sick.
Yeah. Don't you hate losing your hospital records?
Don't
Don't you hate fumbling around with cash? Cash is dirty. You can spread coronavirus with cash.
And for you people out there that depend on the government, if you want your SNAP benefits, if you want your welfare check, you're gonna have to, and if you want Section 8 and all that, you're gonna have to take that test, man. The coronavirus test, man.
And you're gonna have to ultimately get a chip.
Yeah.
Because once that dollar crashes, this is what they're coming out with. Real quick, Forbes.com. This came out April 3rd. Forget the coronavirus stimulus bills. Digital dollar, the digital euro is coming. Digital dollars proposal include an early draft of a massive U.S. coronavirus-induced stimulus bill. So that means while they was making the stimulus bill for coronavirus, they introduced something called a digital dollar. It says have reignited the debate over government-run payment platforms. So they're saying that they want to create a new system of currency that is similar but not the dollar, in which they could give you your stimulus money. It says a provision for a digital dollar was a part of a draft stimulus bill put together by U.S. Democratic Party as a means for make payments to people and businesses hit hard by the coronavirus. While plans for a digital dollar have fallen by the wayside for now, others aren't far behind. China's digital yuan is in the pipeline, and now a digital euro is being tried by France's central bank. Do you see how it's the world that's incorporating all these things at one time? It ain't just America. It's bigger than the U.S., and that's why we always tell people, we don't gotta vote. Vote for what? For what goes on in the confines of America when it's about to be a new world order? What's happening around the world? They shut down businesses. They closed stores, and they canceled school, and they got military checkpoints around the world. They're telling people to stay home. The people are needing a stimulus around the world. People are unemployed, highest level of unemployment since the Great Depression. This is around the world. This is the new world order. Go ahead.
This is Daniel chapter 12, verse 4. It says, "But thou, O Daniel, shut up the words and seal the book even to the time of the end." It says, "Many shall run to and fro, and knowledge shall be increased."
Read that again.
It says, "But thou, O Daniel,"
Call and read it.
Daniel chapter 12, verse 4. "But thou, O Daniel, shut up the words and seal the book even to the time of the end. Many shall run to and fro, and knowledge shall be increased."
Yeah. Seal up the book until the time of the end. Things are being revealed, prophecies to this time, man. It was shut up before. That in the 1900s, they had no idea what the mark of the beast is, man. All right? Coming into the 1950s, 60s, 70s, they didn't know what the mark of the beast is. These things is newly revealed, starting with the apostles and the elders and their elders over them. The Lord started revealing to men again, men of the Lord, men of renown, what the Bible prophecies were, man. Now, fast forward, we in the time when we know exactly what the mark of the beast is, and we can see it happening. You telling me this ain't the time of the end it's speaking on? Read that again.
It says, "But thou, O Daniel, shut up the words and seal the book even to the time of the end."
Yeah, because why is it sealed? What does shut up the words mean? It means it ain't for nobody to know. It wasn't for everybody. Even the Lord said, it was given unto you, but to them it was not given. And so you have certain men that's going to be able it was revealed to, and it was revealed in a certain time, the end time. Go ahead.
It says, "Many shall run to and fro, and knowledge shall be increased."
And so the knowledge that's being increased are these different forms of currency, how to send a signal and set up a 5G so that the AI computer chip can run a car without knocking into things. That's knowledge being increased, man. That's knowledge being increased. So we in these times now. But more importantly, we in the times there's going to be a lot of judgment. There's going to be a lot of persecution on the saints and the believers of the Lord. Right? The scriptures talk about an insurrection of those that believe. Where is that in Second Ezra? There's going to be a time of Jacob's trouble, Jeremiah 30:7. And you're going to see a time where the man of the Lord is tested. Give Revelations 2:10.
No.
Go ahead, you found it?
You want Revelation 2:10 or
Go, what you have. Grab Second Ezra. You know what I'm talking about.
Second Ezra chapter 15, verse 14. It says, "Woe to the world and them that dwell therein. For the sword in their destruction draweth nigh."
What you got, 15?
Yeah, verse 15.
Chapter 15?
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead. Woe to the world and them that dwell in, because the sword destruction is nigh. This is end times. The sword is talking about that thermonuclear arsenal that these different nations are going to shoot over here in America. The draweth nigh. It's about to be shot out of the arrow. It's called a sword because in the ancient world, the only thing that these prophets, when they saw these visions of these nuclear bombs, when the Lord gave them visions of intercontinental ballistic warfare, like in World War III is about to happen, the only thing they could relate that to in their own speech amongst each other with the technology that was there at that time were arrows. These are like arrows. These missiles. They didn't have the word missiles. It was arrows. These are like arrows being shot. Arrow out of the quiver, shot out of the quiver. All right, go ahead.
"And one people shall stand up and fight against another, and swords in their hands."
Swords in their hands. You're going to have insurrections of the people. You're going to have rebellions. But you also want to have nation fighting against nation. And the scripture tell you in Matthew 24, the Lord said, these are the signs of the end times. Nation shall fight against nation. There shall be rumors of wars and rumors of wars. All right. The rumor of war just recently is China saying America was behind the coronavirus spreading in America. Okay, which we know it can easily just be the elites setting up different American companies to do the bidding their own bid. If a company from America goes to Wuhan and spreads the disease, which we know Bill Gates' company, one of the Gates Foundation backing companies was out there before this thing popped off, they could blame all America because it was this American company. The Lord mustered the host of the battle. He's in charge of these nations arguing and having dissension between each other when they know the end game is mutual assured destruction. Meaning, as long as if one of those missiles go up, anybody could come. There is no winner for nuclear war. So that even with them knowing that, the Lord's still going to push them to turn against each other and shoot those arrows. He's going to force, the spirit of these men, these leaders, to push that button.
It says,
just like he forced Pharaoh. Go ahead.
It says, for there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings.
I was looking for the scripture that said, they shall, there shall come down upon the people of the Lord.
Oh, great insurrection. Oh, that's the 16th chapter.
Get that for me. That's what I was looking for. Go right to the point.
2 Ezra 16, verse 70. It says,
yeah.
You want me to start up a little bit? Because it's a lot.
I go to 70.
All right.
Stop there.
It says, for there shall be in every place and in the next cities a great insurrection upon those that fear Yahweh, by Hashem Yahweh Shai.
There will be in every place and in every city a great insurrection upon those that fear Yahweh, by Hashem Yahweh Shai, upon those that fear the Lord. So Jacob's trouble is coming. These are the end times that was written about. These are the times that we're about to see. All right? It's the men of the Lord who are the main ones calling out the Illuminati plans and not backing down. See, these other people, they can choose their families over whistleblowing. They choose their lives over whistleblowing. What we're doing, Lord willing, we got the spirit to do this faith unto death, man. All right. Matter of fact, Revelations 12 and 10, or 12 and 10.
2 verse 10.
12 and 10. Yeah, bring out 2 and 10 real quick.
Revelation chapter 2 verse 10. Fear none of these things which thou shalt suffer.
Fear none of these things thou shalt suffer. Go ahead.
Behold, the devil shall cast some of you into prison.
And that's why the scriptures tell you, Isaiah 33 and 6, that knowledge and wisdom shall be the stability of thy times, because we already know what's to come down the pipeline, man. The only thing we're supposed to be doing here is getting our spirit ready for these things. How do we do that? Prayer and fasting. All right? And constantly going through his word. All right? Constantly asking and praying for the Lord for more faith if you're lacking. Okay? You can't make something hard that's very simple.
I can say something real quick. We show our faith by our works. We gotta keep praying and keep believing in Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai.
Yeah, that's good. Well said. Go ahead, bro.
It says the devil shall cast some of you into prison.
Prison. You all right? You might be scared of prison. That might be one of your fears in life. They make prison sound like a whole terrible place, man. But guess what? For this word, all right, we'll go where we have to go. All right? And it says, many of you shall be cast into prison. So it's telling us before. All right? At least you get a heads up. What do? You ask the Lord for more faith for you in that day, and He's going to give it to you. Go ahead.
That ye may be tried.
That you may be tried. That's all the trial of our faith. The trial is a test. The testing of your faith, man. See, to know these words is one thing. To believe in these words is another thing. You have to do both. Knowledge and wisdom. Wisdom is a choice, the understanding of having wise choices. All right, the understanding of truth and fiction, what's real and what's fake. And so, when you have both, you know the scriptures and you're doing them, applying them, all right, But be ye not hearers of the word, but doers also. That's why this is an action sport. This is a sport. Paul spoke about this being a sport because people who actually play the sports know what he's talking about, but the spectators didn't necessarily understand. When you play a sports, it's different than when you're a spectator. Spectators, that's the guys on ESPN that may have never picked up a football in their lifetime. But with the ones that actually done play the sport and are playing it, they know that it's a big difference between talking it and backing it up.
Yeah.
So that you may be tried, and you may have tribulation 10 days.
Yeah, you want to play the sport, you want to go through the trials like your brothers are, man. We all in this thing together, man. And so if this brother get tried, I want to get tried the similar way so we could have something to share and talk about. More than anything, we're going to do this together. That's a bond right there. You know, that's bonds that we build with brothers because affliction makes friends. Affliction makes bonds. Going through shit together, not just knowing somebody from school. Jake out here with this mentality, yeah, that's my day one. What y'all been through though? We used to be washed up in the bathtub to get, that don't mean nothing to nobody, man. Because if you ever been through something with that brother, man, the brother ever had to share and express what he been through and you actually understand it because you done been through the same. But the Lord is testing us and trying our faith because he wants to see us overcome. He wants to give us the crown of life. He wants to have our book written in the book of life, man. We get a lot of benefits and rewards at the end of this race, man. Go ahead, Al.
That ye may be tried, I shall have tribulation 10 days.
Completion.
But be thou faithful unto death, and I will give thee a crown of life.
Be thou faithful unto death, and I'll give you a crown of life. You gotta repeat that in your mind as whatever comes down the pipe. We're not scared of it. If they bring the martial law tomorrow, we're not scared of that, man. We're telling you it not in fear. We're telling you in like preparedness. Get ready, as we also are ready for it. We're ready for it. We waiting on this. We pray that the Lord hastens the day that these things happen. We got a whole nother mindset. Be an average whistleblower. They still trying to turn America around. Go ahead.
1 John 4:18. There is no fear in love, but perfect love casteth out fear. Because fear hath torment. He that feareth is not made perfect in love.
Speak on it.
Yeah, so this scripture right here, all right, it says there is no fear in love. And what is the love of Yahweh, by Hashem Yahushai, is to keep his commandments, all right, which is synonymous with fearing him, because we know that the Most High can kill both soul and body in hell, all right, meaning the Most High can jack you up and make you wish you was dead here on the planet Earth, all right, but it says, but perfect love casteth out fear, because if you doing the will of the Most High in truth and sincerity, with diligence, with constant reverence and prayer and charity and supplications, all right. It says there is no, you ain't gonna have nothing to worry about. You're not in the spirit of fear, because the scriptures say what? The Lord didn't give his prophets the spirit of fear. He gave them the spirit of strength and a sound mind, roughly paraphrasing. All right, because it says, he that feareth is not made perfect in love, because if you fear, that means that, you don't have the knowledge, first and foremost, because the wisdom and knowledge is what keeps you stable, man. The fear of the Lord. So if you're in fear of what Esau, the so-called white man, or some random person in America or wherever you at could do, then that means that that means you ain't in the right spirit, man. You don't got the love of the Most High in you.
What was Mike Tyson DJ name? His training name again?
Cuz D'Amato.
Yeah, Cuz how you spell it?
C-U-S-D Amato.
Got you. All right, now he had a quote. Cuz Amato had a quote. I'm trying to find it real quick. Yeah, let's see if I can find it. Because fear is important to have. It just got to be used properly, man. It gotta be directed in the right way, man. Let's see if I can find it real quick. Go ahead, Malak.
I got an article from right here.
I got it.
All right.
I got it. Casamato said, you must understand fear so you can manipulate it. Fear is like fire. You can make it work for you. It can warm you in the winter, cook you food when you're hungry, give you light when you're in the dark, and produce energy. Let it go out of control and it can hurt you, even kill you. Fear is a friend of exceptional people. Fear is a friend of exceptional people. Fear is your friend, man. We enjoy fear. Fear the Heavenly Father and His Son. Nothing else. It says the hero and the coward both fear the same thing, but the hero uses his fear, projects it into his opponent, while the coward runs. It's the same thing, fear, but it's what you do with it that matters. All right, so it's not that we saying we ain't got no fear. It's not that we saying we can't never get scared or nervous. That's just hormones and adrenaline working. But once that subsides, that the Lord has that energy and that adrenaline, them hormones subside, and then what kicks in? Faith. Faith kicks in. Everything you remember about the precepts kick in. Oh, the Lord He overcame the world. So we believe in the man that overcame the world. He's going to have us overcome.
Yeah, man, this people we living in the last days, for the past for 2 years, these two companies consuming each other for billions of dollars, so they want to come together. It's on CNET.com. It's day to day. It says Apple and Google are building the coronavirus tracking tech into their iOS and Android. You know what iOS is? That's Apple. So the Apple operating system, and Android for the Samsung, Google operating system. For the past couple of years, they've been suing each other for billions of dollars. And they're coming together right now. It said the two companies are working together. It says representing the most of the phone's users around the world. It says the two companies, tech industries, the biggest players that are working today to fight the coronavirus. The coronavirus is not as serious as people think it is. There's announcing that a new set of tools that could come to majority of the smartphones around the world. So they want to put this on the smartphone then around the world soon. While the smartphone is phased out, they're going to be the mark of the beast.
Sometimes you forget that 10 years ago, maybe not 10 years ago, maybe like 15 years ago, smartphones really wasn't a thing like that. I mean,
the big chef for the big chefs. You see the movies.
Yeah.
You see the movies and the science fiction shows.
Mm-hmm. Showing you how much we've been adapted to this form of technology. It's just it's about adapting the people slowly and slowly. They already had the technology for the chip, man. They had the chip. The maker of the chip, I believe he's like 70-something years old right now. But they had that technology. It's just how to implement it, how to slowly make these, make it so that the people don't revolt against it. Majority of them had, and brothers have had dreams before where the chip was here, the chip was being mandated. I had a dream where Tom Cruise and Puffy, all right, P Daddy, whatever you call himself now, they pull up in a van and they were trying to sell me the chip. They were like trying to entice me to get the chip. Like, yeah, man, this is the thing now, man. They was brother, that was a dream, But then there was a long line. It started out with there was a long line, and there was a long ass line, but there was a short line for people who had a chip. They was going through like butter. Boop.
I mean, say too, I had a similar dream. I ain't was no celebrities in there, but it was all hell breaking loose. And like the brother said, people was in fear, and they came with the solution out of the chaos, which was to get that microchip. Right? They had like stations where people could get the chip, and when you check out the lines, man, the lines were super long. People was lining up like it was the newest Jordans out, man. To get that chip.
Says the new technology outlined in the white paper published by Apple and Google on Friday relies on Bluetooth wireless radio technology to help phone communicate with ultimately warning users about people that came in contact with. So if you came in contact with somebody of coronavirus in your family you work with, then warn the people that you may have the coronavirus, or warn you or warn your family. So who are infected? So that's another. It says who are infected. It says who are infected with the coronavirus. So that's another tech giants, Google and Apple, they're gonna come together, man, to pass this bill to
Oh yeah, I heard about that.
put it on reform.
I got a piece of that.
Mhm.
This is Job 13 verse 4. For ye are forgers of lies.
Yeah, who's the fortune of laws, man? The so-called white man, the Edomites. Most created them to be the evil, man. They had the fortune of lies, man. Don't our brothers know, man? Our brothers during the time when they came over here, man, on the butcher of the Native Americans, that's our brothers, man. They the fortune of lies, man. They might tell you that the coronavirus is killing people. And you gotta stay inside, and you gotta work, you gotta wear a mask, you gotta wear gloves, you gotta shut schools down. Only people allowed to work is essential workers. And if you go outside and start finding people, they're locking you up.
He says, ye are all physicians of no value.
Their position of no value, man. The coronavirus, man, that shit was made up with a lab. It was a position of death. A position supposed to bring you life, not to bring you death, man. The so-called man is going to bring you death through what? The coronavirus. And the Most High is the one that controls everything, man. Even the ones on the left hand side. The Most High controls the so-called white man. All the stuff that's going on with the coronavirus here in America control the four corners of the earth, man. Most High, he got a hand in it.
2 Corinthians 2:11. Lest Satan should get an advantage over us, for we are not ignorant of his devices.
Yeah, the so-called white man devices, man, it's getting worse and worse every day, man. The smartphone, the coronavirus, man, COVID-19, can't work no more. The stock market is almost crashing, man. The final one is what? The mark of the beast. So we are not ignorant of the so-called devices, man. When we first come onto the truth, man, the apostles and elders, they told us about Satan devices, man. And all Satan devices is coming to pass right now.
Sirach chapter 12, verse 10. It says, never trust thine enemy.
Yeah, we don't trust our enemies, man. We got enemies. I ain't talking about we got real enemies and we got enemies. We got enemies with the 2/3, and we got enemies with nations, man. That's why the Most High made different nations. And each nation got an enemy. And the nation Israel, man, we got multiple enemies. Who's our greatest enemy? The one that got us over here, man. Who got us over here in Congo slave ship, man. Through the four corners of the earth, man. To the triangle slave trade, that's our enemy. The so-called white man. So we didn't trust the so-called white man. Who was doing this Esau to the Edomites. When you turn to see man, the first thing you're gonna watch is what? You see Donald Trump every day, man. Either Fox News or CNN or ABC or what the state you in, man. You're gonna see the mayor or the governor of that state telling you that thing is getting better or shit is getting worse or like a couple people died today or different laws. So each day, man, the laws is changing, man. Here in America and here in New York City.
Yeah, if I can add to what you were saying, because Esau he pulls laws out of his red ass, all right? Because they got this 5G thing they pushing out without the consent of the people, all right? And this 5G thing is making people sick with headaches and different health side effects, all right? But they just installing them things. Without the consent of the people, man, which lets you know that they don't care about what you think or your opinion.
They don't even care about their own people. They don't even care about the so-called Jews, their own people.
And you can't stop them, man. That's one thing you're gonna do. You're gonna know who's in charge because people in charge don't gotta give you an explanation on why they do what they do. And the people who can't do nothing is the ones complaining about what's going on.
I read a country, brother, watching New York City news, man. New York City mayor, what's his name, Governor Cuomo and Bill Yazzie, the so-called Jews was arguing with them. So they can't keep their feasts no more.
Oh yeah.
And they say if y'all don't comply, man, we are gonna lock y'all up, man. So they say you can't keep the bullshit ass feasts no more. No more these so-called Jew celebration no more. Each Friday is what the so-called Sabbath. They can't keep the Sabbath. They can't even come together no more. Because they see if they come together, they're gonna lock them up. So that proves, man, that we are living in the end time.
Psalms 44:22. Yea, for thy sake we are killed all the day long.
We are killed all the day long, man. And we ain't scared to die. Because we understand that, man. And we know we've been here multiple times before, but the 2/3 they scared to death, the heathens, and the so-called white man. They think they only live once, but we don't. We die every day, man. The air we breathe have us dying. The water, the food is poison, man. Our own people is poison. And diseases we can't see. So we are dying right now, man. These bodies is dying right now. And we are dying all day long. We are killed all day long.
And what they want is to keep us alive, but keep us dormant, man. You know, sometimes old age is a punishment. You got certain vaccinations that keep you keep you alive longer, but then you'll be like more in a vegetable state of mind, man. You got people who they do lobotomy or whatever it's called. They cut out your sperm part of your brain, and they're alive, but they're dead. And more so, what's the point of being alive, living, and you ain't got your spiritual mind? You spiritually dead, which is the majority of our people out here. You know, they're not living life anyway, man. These people are 2/3 of our people gotta be put out their misery. They're gonna wax worse and worse. There's gonna be a Jake out there. Wait a minute, who's the main dude who's promoting the chip already in America? It's that Kid Boo, what's his name?
Oh yeah, rapper.
It's a Jake, the rapper that got a chip and filmed it and popularized it and trying to make it cool. Jake is gonna be the one thing that passes this and makes it cool to the rest of the nation. It says, yea, for thy sake we are killed all the day long. We are counted as sheep for the slaughter. Jeremiah 11:19 says, but I was like a lamb or an ox that is brought to the slaughter. And I knew not that they had devised devices against me, saying, let us destroy the tree with the fruit thereof, and let us cut him off from the land of the living, that his name may be remembered no more.
Yeah, you got it?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a lot of the prophets, man. Because, you know, our people, you know, they don't want to hear the truth, man. They want to hear smooth things, all right, as well as these other nations. All right, they don't want to hear that they're going into slavery. They don't want to hear that the Lord is coming back to take Esau out of his rulership. All right, so what do, man? They kill a messenger, man. All right, and the prophets, you know, that's what they have to go through, man. All right, afflictions.
And they also trust your oppressor, man. Oh, this coronavirus is so much bullshit. Within 10 days, man. When we should go outside, man, how do people wear masks and gloves when I go outside today? Like 99% of the people, man, either making their own masks or their own gloves. I'm looking down on us because we ain't got no masks and gloves. And that mask and gloves, man, she's unhealthy. And she's unclean. Then you gotta sign up in a line for a couple hours. It's like the food line from back in the days, man, during the time of the Great Depression. These people don't want to admit, man, that we live in the Great Depression. But the difference between now and then, the Great Depression, your food was free. And now we gotta pay for your food, man. And you gotta stand in the cold, man.
Mask.
With a mask on your face and latex gloves on your hand. That's graduation.
And your kids is in school. I mean, your kids is staying at home. Somebody could be sick and you can't travel no more. There's travel restrictions going on. You can't even bury the dead.
Only one person for family could go up a day or every 2 days to buy food for the household. So that's great. That's worse than the Great Depression, man.
This is 1 Corinthians 4:12. In labor, working with our own hands, being reviled, we bless. Being persecuted, we suffer it. Being defamed, we entreat. We are made as the filth of the world, and are the offspring of all things unto this day.
And that's the prophets. All right? Because really they hate the Most High and they hate Yahweh Shai. All right? Because we're speaking the words of the Most High, and the scriptures say men love darkness rather than light. Okay? So the scriptures say a prophet is not with honor, man. It's without honor. You know?
Wearing gloves and hats so important. I tell you every day, man. Why does the president not wear gloves and masks if it's so important? That proof is bullshit. And these people are the sheeps, man. They're a bunch of herds. Anything they see the herd, they don't want to follow the herd, man. So what is the final stuff the herd is going to do? Mark of the beast. Everybody will be getting the mark of the beast, man.
Go ahead, bro. Isaiah 59, verse 14. It says, and judgment is turned away backward, and justice standeth afar off, for truth is fallen in the street, and equity cannot enter. Yea,
Yeah, this is America, man. Truth is far from the street, right? Equity cannot enter, meaning inside this city, found inside these gates and these walls of America, found inside the earth right now, is all wickedness and hell. And it starts with the rulers, as is the king saw the people. So you got to point the one, you can point all the way up to the top, man. The top has the money, the top has the gold, the top has the resources, the top has the wealth and the power to change things for the better. Instead, they choose to change things for the worse. Or I think it's Malachi that tells you they upon their beds they're wicked, man. So here it is. You want peace, you want truth, you want logic, you want reason, you want understanding, you want wisdom, you want these things. You got to go to the prophets of the Lord, because the streets ain't gonna have it for you. The people ain't gonna have it. The public system, service announcements, and the education system, they ain't gonna have it for you. They want you to be a sheep. They're gonna treat you like sheep, man. And which is you're just led for the slaughter. You're just cattle, cannon fodder. All right, useless eaters is what the elites call the average person out here. Go ahead.
it says, Yea, truth faileth, and he that departed from evil maketh himself a prey.
He that departed from evil maketh himself a prey. So y'all see how easy it is to become a prey in America? Depart from evil. Say something righteous. Say something true. Say something right. You know, this is a nigga, but Boosie mentioned the other day about Dwayne Wade's son and how it ain't right to cut off a little boy's testicles because he's saying he a girl and stop calling him a girl, and they was gonna crucify him for that, man. You know, any form of righteousness out of a man's lips, especially if you're a public figure, you got to go. You know, through the spirit. The only reason we still here is because we ain't sell out. We didn't give them, we didn't take their money or their platform, all right, to elevate our status in this world, and then try to spit some truth out on the platform they gave us. Nah, this is all what you call grassroots. The Lord's movement starts with men of the Lord from the bottom, man. That's why Paul said it. We are the offscoring of the world. We the ones who the world looks at as the trash. We at the bottom of this barrel, and that's because the Lord has chosen the ones that are, what is it? The Lord has chosen the foolish of this world to confound the wise. But here we are as fools for Yahweh's sake, confounding the wise in their own evil, exploiting them, punishing them, and proving and exposing them for their wickedness. The elites. Go ahead.
It says, and Yahweh saw it, and it displeased him that there was no judgment.
Mm-hmm. That's it, right?
I got one more definition.
Yeah, bring it out.
Right here from herd mentality.
Yeah.
Herd mentality from the dictionary. It says the tendency of people behaving a belief to conform to those or a group which they belong.
Say it again.
Herd mentality, the definition, the tendency of a people behavior or beliefs to conform to those or a group which they belong.
Yeah, and where's there been herd mentality before? You know, people always like to point out history lessons, man. Well, you know, didn't the dollar collapse during the Weimar Republic? Wasn't there a lot of false flags that led up to that World War II and the Third Reich and that regime under Hitler, and supposedly everybody was coming against the Jews. The average person out there was completely wrapped up in this whole Third Reich Nazi movement, man. And they all was into that. You had millions of people saluting and throwing up their, Hail Hitler salute out there. And he was a puppet the whole time. You fast forward to today, you have millions of Americans out there, then they're worshiping Hitler. The sign, there's a sign that said, Hitler, God, what does it say? Hitler. No, it says, it says, Trump, God, basically something along the lines of God obeys Trump, something like that. So this is what the average American is thinking. So you already fighting for this country. You already in some patriotic mind state that has nothing to do with your nationality, nothing to do with righteousness, nothing to do with truth and sincerity and logic. You're already fighting sides and battling it out. as soon as whoever you voted for tells you you should take this chip, you're gonna take it. As soon as your family members tell you to take the chip, you're gonna take it. Most of you people just sway wherever the wind go.
We don't follow herds around here.
You know, but we are herd, but we are herd
Righteous.
following after
Righteous
Yahweh
shepherd.
Shem Yahushua, man.
The righteous shepherd.
All right. The difference is, you know, the blind leader, the blind, and both of them shall fall into a ditch. You know, our leader, our shepherd, is the light, man.
Smite the shepherd of the herd shall flee.
Go ahead, bro. What y'all got, man?
That's it.
I don't know.
You can one more, we'll close it, bro. That's it. We hit on all them points.
This is Revelation 12, verse 12. Therefore rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devil is come down unto you, having great wrath, because he knoweth that he have but a short time.
Right. So you got the martyrs out there in the earth that have resisted unto blood. They're up in the heavens now. There's joyous and celebrating. You have men that pass on in this truth, and they are believers in the Lord. They've seen all the wickedness done on this side, and when they're in the heavens, they're rejoicing. You have many angels in the heavens rejoicing. Angels rejoice at a man that repenteth, man. And so the angels is heavy because this devil, all right, who is Esau, Edom in the Bible, who is the nation of people that rule over this earth, or that word devil means deceiver, the nation that deceived the entire earth. You want to know what they deceived? Okay, they deceived the image of the Lord. The whole world believes that the world, who the world calls ignorantly Jesus Christ, is a so-called white man. They believe that this monopoly money is real money. They believe that the beacon of light, knowledge, and wisdom and purity on this earth are so-called white people. They believe that God is white himself. They believe that they're of no nation involving the true biblical Israelites. These are all confusion and lies that were spread by the deceiver, the man, Esau, Edom, the nation of people, starting with you elites who have the power in your hands to do these things. Confuse people like we've done. Now everybody wants to be, girls want to be men and men want to be women and vice versa. So we're in a very jacked up state of people right now, because as the king is, so the people. So it says, rejoice ye heavens and ye earth, right? Those that dwell on the earth, right?
It says, woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devil is come down unto you.
So destruction is going to come to the inhabitants of the earth because the devil has come down unto you. Read on.
Having great wrath.
He has great wrath. Esau has great wrath. Go ahead.
Because he knoweth that he hath but a short time.
That's what he does know. So while we're, we don't get too worried about the 5G. It's out here, but the Lord could send an angel between us and that 5G and cause no harm to us. Whereas everybody else is getting jacked up. Just like the Lord is sending the angels to watch over us so we don't get none of this coronavirus mess or whatever flu and illnesses they are that we highly capable of getting because we drinking this bad water, eating this bad food, and breathing this terrible air. This cancerous air out here, man. Carcinogens all up in the smog, all up from the cars.
Showering with the water.
Yeah, we're showering with this bad water. We drinking some of this fluoride and other metals in this water. And so the Lord is constantly protecting us, but he's coming down with wrath. Satan is coming down with wrath because he has a short time to rule. So the people that's ruling right now are the devil, are hand in hand with the spiritual demon Satan, man. And so as they see their time getting shorter, they're going to start making more moves on you. Mandatory vaccinations for you and your family. You don't want to take one, don't show up to work, don't leave your house. It's your choice. Next thing you know, you try and go get some food, and they're telling you, well, the mandatory vaccination, and you got to wear these gloves and mask and whatnot. All right? get your vaccination now, and they got the guns drawn on you. What you gonna do? You were broken Article 555. You were now in what's the word? You were now in
Quarantine.
quarantine. But we now have to evacuate you because you have just broken the rule number regulation number 6556 according to the National Defense Authorization Act, or during times of war and quarantine. Now we're gonna hold you off of here.
So that curfew
Alright.
breaking kush.
Yeah, breaking curtain. Where have you been in the last 48 hours? Quizzing you in front of some light or some joint like that. Now they're gonna go take your family and make sure they get into quarantine and mandated vaccinations. Next thing you know, you've been there for hours and you know, the Lord gonna have you through all of that, man. He's gonna watch over you through all of this, man. Any of this can happen at any time. They got the power to do it.
Oh.
They got the power to do it. Show up at your door. Knock on your door. Excuse me. According to Article 6556, we're here, the United States National Guard. They're here to make sure you quarantine.
They already passed the laws already. Homeland Security already passed the laws.
It's all a simple legislation. It's all a sign of a sheet, man. It's all a sign of executive order, a strike of a pen. And they got you and your family against the wall in doctor's offices. So the time is short, so you're gonna make that move, and ultimately that market trip is what you want, man. So, hey, bro, it's fear not, you know what I'm saying? Don't fear the man that can kill the body, fear the one that can kill the body and the soul. Brother brought out in the comment board, you know. And so that's the how about Shemiel Shah. So, Lord willing, this video is edifying to you, brothers. You know what's for us. Till next time, Shalom. All praises due to you, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh, Bahashem, Rakakadash. And Shalom to all you brothers out here. Pushing the words of truth and sincerity. Till next time, Abba Ball.
Abba Ball. Shalom.